Okay, now I know. Listen,
That's me.
people. Mary Lou was working a fan, and then she's typing all kind of myriad things. All right, hold on. Something weird is happening. All right, let me see what's going on. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna go to recording, and then I want to turn this off. Okay, see if that helps out. And then I'm gonna go see if that helps out. Okay, so I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm gonna stop that, and then I'm gonna start that and see if that smooths it over. Okay, maybe that should fix it. I think at on my okay, it looks smoother. On my particular computer right now, I for whatever reason, if I do the multiple encoder thing, like it really makes my computer go crazy. Where it wasn't before, but all of a sudden it is. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna fight it. I'm not gonna fight it, and I just can't hide it. I know, I know, I know, I know. I want to, want to.
All
Oh
right, when
man,
you were a DJ, Doc,
yes.
were you playing? Did you play a lot of reggaeton
Oh, 100%. When reggaeton came
or
out,
like
to
party
me,
music?
well, to me, it was like mashing up three of my favorite things, right? I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love, like salsa merengue, and I absolutely love reggae, and I absolutely love hip hop. Hip hop. I can speak English. So
Hiccups.
when reggaeton came about, I was like, oh yes, this is actually kind of cool. It was actually kind of cool. It was yeah, it was tasty. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I was definitely getting some like college Florida flashbacks.
Yo, since my computer's tripping today, I'm gonna cancel the recording and just if we need anything, it's coming straight out of YouTube. Straight out of YouTube. I have no idea why it's tripping today, but yo, I came in today, and it could be just power fluctuations, right? I came in today, and it was like, fam, the mouse didn't work, and I got three mice. I put in the trackpad, I put in the other mouse, and nothing would work. Even I was like, yo, so I had to reboot it, and yeah, I feel like the computer has been bugging ever since. Yeah, it might be time for another one of my annual Nukem pays, which would be twice in 1 year. But hey, I'm cool with it. All right, so
Yeah. And
uh,
I know like technology's been kind of weird lately. Like it's like in my like workout class yesterday, stuff was going haywire. It's just been seeing it a lot. So, it is. It just
it
is.
happens. It happens.
It happens.
There's so many incredible things going on right now, just in general, and it's yo people. This is not creators unstuck thought, but I like to process my weird thoughts with my friend. Okay, so y'all just have to listen to me. Process my weird thoughts with my friend. Hey, what is up? G is in the building. What is up, Gordon? Man. Oh, Gordon, listen. There's always Doc's musical Tourette's on this show. It's just a thing.
He's like, we got no
Yo,
guarantees,
if
no
Kathy Walker's here,
protections.
she has a playlist. She adds all the myriad things I sing to the playlist, and so yeah, it's kind of crazy. Um, Yesterday I was I was freaking on Al Jarreau, which was absolutely hilarious. I have no idea why Al Jarreau just popped into my head, but I was singing Al Jarreau. Like it's crazy. I have this weird thing when I just attach certain words to songs. Anyway, so Lou, I have a question for you in relationship to just the amount of crazy things that's going on in the world.
Okay.
And and I fight fire with fire. If that's a dumbest way to say it or the easiest way to say it, but it's just what I do. I fight fire with fire. So when I
Yes.
feel like when the world is going crazy, doing all kind of just like mental anguish oriented things, that is when I dive in and try to create exactly the opposite, right? I try to create more fun stuff, more funny stuff, more let's just look over here because that hurts. And I've been watching people on the internet give other people crap for trying to maintain a level of not even handedness. What's the word I'm looking for? Wait, why are you smiling, cuz?
I have so much to say about
Okay.
this.
The people have been giving other
Just
people
like,
crap for trying to maintain a modicum of joy in this otherwise could be joyless thing. And my thing is, like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm the type of person, like Caddyshack, if there's a turd in the pool, I'm gonna get a turd scooper, scoop it out, flick it over the wall, throw in some extra chlorine, swirl it in, and get back in the pool. Like, I just don't see the need to like drain the entire pool and just live in the dumps. So I guess that's because this is my thought, and people in the chat, please correct me if I'm wrong. I come from nothing. And when I talk about nothing, I mean wish sandwich. That's where you had two pieces of bread and you wish you had some meat. And even in our darkest times, we found a way to laugh, right? When everything was worse, we found a way to laugh. And my family remained tight and positive. We're all funny. We're all randomly a little bit goofball. You know, none of us take this mess too seriously. Also, when I was young, I had my grandfather die when I was like 8, and then my auntie died when I was like 10. So like people who I was really close to passed away early. So I just deal with stress differently. Also been to combat, so I know that there's more to this. You know what I'm saying? I've watched people who we made plans on Wednesday and on Tuesday they got shot. So I just don't want to be dragged into all of the craziness. Doesn't mean I'm ignoring it or I'm avoiding it or I'm soulless or I don't have a heart, because it all there, but I just tend to focus on something else. So let me let you go.
so we actually discussed this yesterday in Video Creator Club because like it is important for us as creators to have private safe spaces where we can talk about these kind of things with everything that's going on in the world. So I typically will like stick with the joy because joy is important. Joy is resistance. Existence is resistance. And the shaming is just another form of policing people's existence.
Mm.
It is just another way of control and policing. So when they're saying you need to talk about this, isn't that just another form of trying to control someone else?
100.
You know?
100.
I have my personal reasons for not talking so much about stuff, right? Like you can see me and I'll be like, yes, F ICE, F the administration, F, all of this. Like I have my opinions, but those are not the content that I make. And you also have to protect your own self. And I think this is where you and I, Doc, you and I connect because we've seen seen some shit. Like you've seen more shit than me, but
That's because I'm old.
like it, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we have in alignment and similarities, and that's there's some folks where it's like, bless, I'm so glad that you are utilizing your privilege to go into spaces that are not safe for all of us. I'm grateful for that. But I will tell you, I get scared to go to a protest. Like Will love to go to protest because he's really not at risk. And like, am I at risk? No, but yes, but no, but yes.
Yeah, see, that's
You
the
know?
thing. No, but
So
yes.
no, but yes, but
No,
no,
but
but
no.
yes. But
Exactly. And you know what? And I feel like a lot of people don't really understand it. It's like, oh, well, you have a big platform and you have a good voice, so you should do more. And it's like, yeah, this sounds crazy to say out loud. I'm like, you're telling a person who did time in the army and who's already been through some stuff that they need to do more? Like holding a
yes.
sign? You want me to hold the sign?
And that's
Like I put
that's the
stitches
also
and
not
brought people
understanding.
home. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you like that's different.
Like you don't know what we've done outside of the internet. And also for anyone, right? This is not just specific to Doc and I, but like we stand up in the ways that we stand up. We stand up in the ways of trying to get you to effing post your videos so you're seen versus, you know, some of the more, which like sometimes could be performative, sometimes not. Sometimes it comes from a good place. But I do see a lot of folks sometimes, like when they are sharing about stuff, it does turn into something about them somehow. I'm like, how did we get there? How did we do that?
Yeah.
So
And
it's
it's just one of those
and
things. Like I I love, just like in general people, I am loving some of the things that, I am seeing people create. And so I posted a reel last week, and if you haven't done so already, I want you to do so. Like, I went in and I did the Animal Series test, which is to go and see what the algo thinks that you're about. Okay. And so when I did the test to see what the algo thinks I'm about, like, let me turn this down before I get in trouble. At
isn't
the
that just like
very
it just
at
looks
the
at what you
very top of
thinks
the
your feed
reels,
is?
there's a little heart with two lines. When you hit your first reel, there's a heart with two lines on it, and if you press that, it will give you a thought process, and it'll give you a list of the things that it thinks that you're into, right? So it says
Okay, let's
content
see.
creating, Manchester United. It says parenting, which is not the case. Which maybe though I might have sent someone a couple of my friends videos of kids being funny, but that doesn't
Mhm.
mean that it's about parenting. So it's missignaling there. It's saying, food, dining, motivation, satire, travel, soccer, dance, 3D printing, and Japan travel. So all I need to do is go to the Parrington one and be like, yeah, remove that interest. That's not it. And the relationship humor, remove that interest because that's not it. And what happened is over, a couple of days, they're going to figure that out. Now, there may have been a video where there's a couple doing something funny or saying something funny, and I might send that to a friend or I might like that video, but that's not what I want to see in my constant feed, because I want my feed to be more what I want to see, right? And so you can go and you can actually adjust that. And it says, what do you want to see less of? So you can press add and you can literally type something in, right? And so I can just put uh, hateful content, and then, hey, you know what? Your feed sells out, right? So it's funny to watch the things that people think, or it's even funnier how the algo can assume you're into something because you reacted to something that happened that week, right? So
Mhm.
that week something might have came up, and um, I know that definitely my nephew hosted his first dance class in LA last week,
Yeah.
and I was, tagging him and talking to his mom and his dad and my other friends who also choreograph in LA. And they're like, yo, so I finally got to meet your nephew. One of my dudes is a big time choreographer in LA.
Mhm.
And he was like, yeah, I finally got to meet your nephew. Like, yo, that kid is sick with it. And, I'm like, you know what it is, because Uncle, dragged him into doing music and all these other things. So maybe that's why it thinks all of a sudden that it's about the parenting thing. And I'm like, yo, it's just it's a mistake, fam. Like, understand the difference
Mhm.
between my family and my not family. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it will figure it out. But like, instead, everybody wants to be like, oh, the algo is doing this and that, right? And even, YouTube, everyone's like, oh, the algo is showing these shorts. They're forcing shorts on it. Look, if you got to put the word they're forcing in your face, you are being a victim. And I'm sorry if you don't want to hear that, but nobody is forcing you to do anything, right? You got choices, right? And one of those choices is go to the feed and press the button that says, don't show me this no more. And it'll go away. It really does go away,
Don't show me this feed no more.
right? It will go away. It might come back because it just tested and be like, you sure? You sure? Just like when
You
your ex pops up
sure?
every once in a while, be like, hey, you sure? No, get the out. Like it's just like that. They just want to double check, and or just remind you in case you something see. So it's one of those weird things, and yeah, that's not it. Hey, I just want to point this out real quick, and not in the mean way or anything like that. I see that some random guy speaks popped up. First of all, thank you for showing up to the show. Appreciate you. Love you for being here. One thing, this particular show on Tuesdays at this time and on Saturdays at this time is my show. I'm not wearing my Ecam hat. I kind of don't talk about Ecam on this side of the show, but of course, meet us on any of the other Ecam shows. I'm willing to answer any questions, do whatever. This one is mine. And when I got hired 5 years ago today, by the way, today is my 5th year anniversary. Um, they told me that I could keep doing this show and they were cool with it. And at first I used to spend a lot of time on my own show doing it, but then I'm like, yo, I'm on my kind of off time. You know, it's like if I were to catch Gordon at dinner and then I'm asking him a whole bunch of legal questions. And Gordon's like, "Yo, fam, I'm not on the clock right now." So he's an attorney. He's a good content creator attorney, by the way. Everybody should go and see my man Gordon. He's an amazing content creator attorney. But I'm not going to bombard him at dinner with legal questions. However, if I catch him in the hallway at a conference, he knows what's up. It's coming because I always ask him crazy stuff. Thank you, Gordon. But yeah, anyway, so appreciate you for being here. Just understand on this one, this is my living room, more or less, except for I still don't let Mary Lou walk around my house with shoes on or put her feet on my couch. It's just not a thing.
All right, let's like spam the chat with all the congratulations, all the excitement, all the thanks for everything you've done in the last 5 years. I'm so glad that this program then community has brought us together so we could talk about crazy stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and I'm still trying to focus on, you know, the sort of beauty and what's going on in the world because I do think one of the greatest things that we have that I still feel like people don't quite get it is how awesome content creating can be right now. You can learn so much, you can explore so much. If you're willing to, you could even double check your biases. So when you feel a certain way about a certain thing, you can dive into the other side a little bit with an open mind and be like, am I really making these thoughts by myself? Or am I being fed these thoughts and rightfully so, accepting what is on surface value versus what's truly in my heart? And I think it's easy right now to want to be a part of something. And so it's easy to find people that you think you're in alignment with, and you're all about that life until you're not in alignment with it. Okay, and I'm going to give you a very specific example. And I think many of dudes have been in this particular situation. I also believe many of females have been in this particular situation. When younger, right? And you know, I use the club scene as a thought process because I just know a lot about it because I DJ'd for many years, and I just realized that my whole layout is crooked, and I kind of want to fix it, but I'm not messing with it right now. Anyway, I'm gonna stop. The whole thing is leaning to this side. It's like me and Lou are like, wait, we're like this. Whoa. Okay, so when you first started, you know, you get college, whatever, you get away from the crib, you first start going out, you're hanging out with your friends and stuff like that. There is this whole culture of like, I'm gonna go out today and I'm gonna meet the one, and so everybody's in this sort of like, you know, I guess the common terminology now is sort of like hookup culture or whatever, right? Everyone's trying to find that somebody. And normally everybody's all about it until the first person that actually finds somebody that they like enough to like hang out with more than once. And then
Mm-hmm.
they start hanging out with the person more than once, and the other four people in the crew would be like, "Oh, I see how. So you're just gonna leave us over here, whatever." And so now you no longer have the same intentions as your friends. So when your girlies all be getting dressed up and everybody's coming a little bit shorter with the thing, you might go a little longer with the thing, right? And for the dudes, you know, all the other dudes out there with silly things to say nowadays would be classified as sexist. Or, you know, you're on your whole pull ups and then you're like staying out of the corner and then trying to be back out of it, right? So then there's four, you run into four, and your friend's like, hey, you got to talk to this one because we got to keep it even Steven. And you're like, nah, I'm not trying to get stabbed. My other partner, she's Latina, she would cut me. And then now you just feel uncomfortable being there because you don't want to put yourself in a weird situation, and you know it just happens, right? It happens all the time. Sometimes you could be with a group of friends and they take it too far, right? Maybe they're a little bit mean to some females, right? Or maybe they're a little bit mean to some males, and you're like, yo, you kind of just bullied the dude who simply asked you if you wanted a drink, and you tried to rip his head off like he was trying to get all the way in the guts. He legit was asking the question. Or is anybody sitting here? Nah, I mean, you ain't sitting here. You ugly. Blah, 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 blah. I've seen it happen.
Just
I,
trying to start a
a
conversation,
100%. I've seen it happen all the time. And a
Yeah.
lot of times that comes from feeling like you're part of the crowd and your friends are mean girling, so you try to mean girl. And then you end up just being an absolute twat to somebody for no reason. And the same thing, all your friends are being like little macho, a-holes and like saying dumb stuff to girls, and then you feel uncomfortable, right? How come when we were younger, we had the ability to catch those things and kind of pull back? But then you get older, you're like, oh, so I'm gonna pretend that I'm as about this thing as I think I'm about until they take it too far. And I think the fun thing now is watching some people who are like, I've been about this, this, and this, but now they're taking it too far. I'm not feeling it. Right. And I think the other thing that's a little blurry right now is feeling like you have to pick a side. And I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really have to pick a side. You need to learn to stand on your values for what your values are. And some of your values might ride both sides, but you don't mean you have to pick one. Right. I don't think I'm purple in any
Yes.
way, shape, or form. I think I am 100% blue, but there are definitely some things that might be purple. So I think my blue is probably more violet than magenta. Right. Magenta is when your purple leans a little red. Right. And violet is when your purple leans a little bit more blue. But everybody is probably closer to some shade of purple than they are either fully blue or fully red. And it's really dumb that we have to bifurcate it like that, because I kind of would rather be green.
Well, and that's like one of the benefits of the internet, right? Is like I really do love to go like if there's something in the echo chamber that I'm like, let me just see what's being said on the other side, because I don't like to just take what's served to me, because I've had too many conversations with people out in the world where like I saw this and this is 100% it. It's like, well, like, but did we double check this? Like, did you make this opinion based on knowing more of the whole picture? We could never know the whole picture. Um, but they just don't look at things, right? So that is a benefit of the internet, is that we do have all this information where we can go look at stuff. You don't have to just consume what's served to you. But then we get the people who do just, they're like the cliff notes people, and they just regurgitate what was in the cliff notes, as opposed to what do you actually think. That's what I am really sitting like strongly on this. Like when I hear people's videos and you're using an AI script, like I want to scream, and I have screamed at the phone. What do you actually think? What is it that you think? He's wiggling us around. You don't use
Sorry.
preview mode? What is wrong with you?
No, I don't use preview mode because I'm a gangster and I'm going to show you what I'm doing.
Yeah, except like you're going to mess up your co-host, because I'm like, wait,
Sorry.
is there an earthquake?
Lou just like,
Is there an earthquake happening?
all right. Sorry, it was hey, my Virgo slash ADHD could not leave that alone. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's like, what is it that people actually think? Because and then I don't mind having a conversation, right? It's not always easy
No.
to have a discussion, but that was something that I always, when I don't agree with somebody, it's right. Like I almost started this one show where it was like talking to people about stuff that I don't fully understand,
Oh, I love that.
and then it's just like an idea that like is on the shelf. It's called Seriously Curious, uh, and it's like where I would talk to you know someone who is in MAGA and be like, but like, what is it? Like, and not trying to be combative,
No. I
but
used
like,
to wholeheartedly
tell me.
believe, and when I was younger, I used to wholeheartedly believe that people chose to be rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
I really did believe that. And then I had a classmate who I spent an awful lot of time with, was the funniest person in the world, but also was super, super good programmer, very analytical thinker, very much like myself. And then they were the ones that told me, it's like, nah. And it's like, think about it like this. Because I have a stepbrother who, I literally just thought, he just woke up one day and decided that's what he was going to do. And he was like, why, especially in your community, right? Would you put yourself in a position to deal with all of the drama that comes with that? And that the black community and the Latin community, heavily religious side, like my stepbrother took a lot of heat. It's like, why would anybody purposely put themselves in that over the idea of being in relationship with people that you don't even know if it's permanent yet? You know what I mean? And it's like, imagine dating and how much drama you have to deal with. Because I went to a private school, and being in a private school took me out of the hood, but I still lived in the hood, right? But I went to private school because they basically brought me in for athletic capabilities, and
For
then
cheerleading?
football and cheerleading and track, yeah,
Yeah.
and wrestling. Um,
Yeah.
when
Sports boy.
Oh yeah, 100%, right? And then when I like maybe first started dating, my first girlfriend was white, and I used to take so much crap in the hood for it. And it's like, now the crap that you take is marginal. Imagine what your stepbrother takes. Because it's one
Mm-hmm.
thing to date a white girl, it's another thing to date a dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so it took me a minute to come around, but I'm like, yeah, nobody would purposely put themselves through the BS that you got to go through. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then I had a cousin that was basically assaulted and murdered because of him being gay, and it was full ass hate crime. And it was like, okay, yeah, nobody would decide to put themselves in this kind of harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really crazy for me to come to that. And I've admitted this to Paul and Caleb and stuff like that because I'm happy that I was open enough to come through it. Some people never do.
Some people
There's
never
some people
do.
that in my whole family who still think like, if my cousin wasn't that way or my brother wasn't that way, their lives would be better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, your life ain't any better, and you're exactly what they said, and you're poorer than them and living suffering more than them. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy how that
I,
works,
s-
man.
I sometimes think that with the people who are radicalized, like, because you're putting yourself in danger, um, some people have the Constitution for it, and some people don't,
Mm.
right? But like, it was placed in you because somebody does have to fight in the front,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
And like, I'm grateful to the folks who do that.
your
Like, I
dad.
feel like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
I
like
think because you grew up as
it
a
is.
military kid, and I grew up as a military
Mm-hmm.
kid, and later a military person myself, I think we just have a
Mm-hmm.
different look because we were always introduced to a whole bunch of different people because of the way the base
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah.
I think we never give ourselves credit for that. And I used to hate being a military brat.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
you
loved it.
also,
I was like new
right,
kid all the time,
new adventure always, right? When you start feeling
always.
like, okay, I was at this school and I ain't do so good because like I dug a hole I can't dig myself out of. I'm gonna go to this next school. I'm not gonna make that mistake. So we got to start over a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe,
we get to
maybe
try again.
maybe that's why we're good at like trying crazy stuff. All right, so let's get out
Maybe,
of doom and
yeah,
gloom for a second
we
and
are built for that. We are built for
I
that.
think
Okay,
we're
so
so
you had
what's
another
popping
contact.
in the creator space that got you absolutely jazzed right now?
Okay, so I mean, it's adjacent. So with this, the Benito's halftime show got me thinking about where we're told a lot. The advice a lot is make what the audience wants. Make what the audience wants. But sometimes you need to make what you wish you could have seen when you felt invisible, right? Because it's like I had started with like make what needs to be said, but like that's not like because not everybody can do just what needs to be said, but we can make it personal. What did you need to see when you felt invisible? And can you make that? And can you make from that spot? And can you create that for someone else, right? And then we see in his performance, Ricky Martin was there, was able to sing in Spanish, right? Ricky Martin had to sing in English so Benito, Bad Bunny, could sing in all Spanish, right? But he's someone also who's like putting himself on the line. He's going around with a bulletproof vest underneath his costumes, but still going out there, right? So that's like he's built for that. Like he's at the right time in history with his energy, with his experience, with where he's standing in the scope of pop culture to put himself out on the line, right? So I'm like so grateful when people do that. But where can we make that kind of resistance on our level, on our platforms, on what we can do, right? I want you all to consider not just what does the audience want, which there's nothing wrong with that too, because there was a segment of audience that definitely wanted to see the halftime show in all Spanish. But, okay, what is it that you would have loved to seen, what you needed to see when you felt invisible?
Man, that is really good. That is really, really good. What's crazy, the last time, this is, I don't even know. I don't even know when the last time I felt invisible was because I intentionally put myself in fires. I
Mm-hmm.
intentionally put myself in spotlights. Normally, to make it more comfortable for somebody else who would feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
I
So
am
that's
I
what I
am
do
I
see
am
you
I
do
am
really
used to
well.
taking the arrows in the back so that other people don't have to take them. That's a that's man,
Yeah, and you
that's
see
a
like
deep
I
question.
feel like where you're like your empathy is like seeing other people that are feeling invisible and you just like being like come over here,
Get your ass
you
over
know.
here.
Like come stand on the stage. Like isn't it fun? Like
Yeah,
isn't it okay?
yeah, yeah. I definitely do that, and I think I've always done that. Even this is to be a this is man, this is a really crazy thing to say out loud, but I will say it out loud because it was true. When I would be at work and I see a group of friends walking in, right, I can immediately tell who the cool kids were, right? So looking at our Zoom chat right now, right, all of us walking into the club. So right now there would be me, you, Paul, and Aubrey, right? What the average person in the booth would do is talk to you or maybe even talk to me. What I would do is instantly spotlight Obs. She's the shortest, right? She's the quietest, right? And she started standing in the back. I would, hey, come over here. You come over here.
You.
What are you and your friends hanging out here for? Oh, it's Paul's birthday, so we wanted to go out and have fun, whatever. I'm like, cool. I call the bouncer. Hey, can you get what your name is? Oh, Aubrey. Can you get Aubrey and her people to the VIP? It's Paul's birthday. But I would
Mhm.
be like, can you get Aubrey and her people to the VIP? Boom, set them up. All right. Hey, can you send my friend Aubrey over a bottle for me? All right, cool. Boom. Now you guys are set up. Then I would be on the thing, get the next cut in. Hey y'all, what up, man? We gotta say what's up to the new homie in the house. Big ups to Aubrey. She hanging out with her homies today. It's her other homie's birthday. What's your name is? Paul. All right, it's Paul's birthday, but since Aubrey and Paul and Mary, Lou and Doc came through, let's go give them a big shout out, whatever. So the whole party would go on. But every time, rather than addressing Paul, his birthday, rather than addressing Lou, she's the cute one, or Doc, he's the other cute one, I'm gonna keep talking to Aubrey, right? And I'm gonna make her be the VIP. So now, when the whole joint is over, they all come by to say thank you, whatever. I shake Paul's hand, happy birthday, hug you, hug me, whatever. I'm like, oh, so next time you come, when you hit the door, just be like, call Doc. I got you. No one has ever done that for her, right? You and I are used to it, right? Paul, he don't even come out. He just his birthday. They got dragged out, right? The next week, Aubrey brings 8 new people because the one place where she gets to be VIP, where she gets treated like the queen, she gonna bring everybody. You know what I mean? And then that person becomes your ride or die. It is super easy in the whole list of folks, right? Go to the whole Super Bowl right now. It's super easy to talk about the quarterback did this and the wide receiver did this or whatever. Who is bigging up the O lineman, right? Who's bigging up the trainers? Who's bigging up the kicker? The kicker won the game. Like he scored the most points in NFL history. They still talk about the quarterbacks. To this day in the news, they talk about the quarterbacks. The kicker scored the most points. He ain't been on Jimmy Kimmel yet. They had the coach on. Think about that. Dude came from Australia, came to US and of A, and set a Super Bowl record for the most points scored by a kicker. He still ain't been on Kimmel yet. Why y'all bring the coach? Habits, bro. Habits. Y'all are doing it wrong. If you brought the kicker, you just brought all of Australia with him. Think about that. It's crazy. It's crazy, but
Okay,
that's how it works.
So then this is your way of like, you're not doing necessarily what you needed when you felt invisible, but because of your privilege and your experience of being able to be like you know, the DJ's like the king of the kingdom, right? You get to see like bird's eye view of the different like social behaviors, right, that are going on. So that is a privilege that you have, and you're like, this person looks like they feel invisible, or let's just make this person feel visible, right? So you're
Right.
doing what would help someone when they feel invisible. Now, where do you think that emotional intelligence developed for you? Because not all DJs do that.
Maybe I was like the only boy in the house full of women, and maybe that was the last time I felt like, yo, I can't say nothing, I can't do nothing. I just gotta keep my mouth shut and hide in this corner. Maybe that's why. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Like I have no idea. It's really funny. Like now I gotta
Mm-hmm.
go to therapy and dig it out, or maybe I should leave that door
Yeah.
shut. Don't be digging in the crazy spots, Mary Lou. You already got me. You already got
He's
me
like, I've
jacked
never
up this
felt
year.
invisible. Next week, he's like, I went to therapy.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I could have compartmentalized it, bro. Like I could have really smashed it way there
Yeah.
in the back. But I'm sure it was there at some point in time. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a place. I've definitely been in rooms where I'm like the only POC in the room. I don't know if invisible is the one. I feel like everybody looking at you like you finna steal something. But I mean, I guess you can
Yeah. I
connect
mean,
those
like,
two thoughts together.
right. Those are parallel. They're like sister experiences, right? Like you
Yeah,
felt invisible or you felt singled out in
yeah,
like a not positive way.
yeah.
You
Because
know,
I
I think
mean,
about
you've
like
definitely
when
been the only girl in the room at some stuff, or
exactly like you took me to that one event,
oh,
the secret squirrel event, and it was like
oh yes, that's right. Yo, I got to see it happen in real
you were a
life.
one and only, and I was a one and only.
Yeah, but what
Like,
was funny? Okay, so here's what's funny about this event. And again, I know everybody feels it different. I know everybody handles it differently. Mary Lou and I walked into a room for a corporate brand event, a brand that you all know and love. And when we walked into the room, both of us were one of one. Okay, she was the only girl in the room, and I was the only person closer to the color of the equipment in the room. But what you did was you flicked on your light bulb and you like, y'all ain't gonna forget I'm here. And I thought that was dope. I think that was one of those moments when I was like, yeah, this motherfucker is mine. This is my homie right here. Like she is basically a smaller version of me. So I thought that was very dope. I love the way you handled the situation. You didn't make them feel embarrassed about it or make them feel bad about it, but you also didn't be like, oh, well, since I'm the only girl in the room, blah, 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 kind of thing. Like from the, I won't say from the feminist standpoint, because it is a feminist standpoint. It's really dumb when people try to use the reason why we have to put that label, because you were the only girl in the room. So it wasn't being a feminist or better yet, a feminazi, like people like to say. You wouldn't have had to do that had you not been the only girl in the room. Matter of fact, if there was another one, it still wouldn't have been enough because there was 30 of us in the room and there was one of you. If there's 30 of us
there's
in the
one gal
room,
on the brand side,
yeah, okay, she worked there. They don't count. And then the
but
waitresses
she's
didn't
working,
count,
right?
or the servers didn't
Yeah.
count, right? If if there were 10 of you in the room and 20 of the dudes, that would have been more commensurate to what really pops off. And maybe that's different. But there was 1 to 30. And
And
then,
I was like the secondary guest.
yeah, correct. You were the +1. Actually, you
Yeah,
got there
not
because
even
I
like an
pulled you.
initial
Right,
invite. Yeah.
right. So imagine that it didn't even cross their brains. That's wild, right? And maybe they don't think about it. And see, this is where EEOC gets in trouble. And I kind of understand why people think that it shouldn't matter when they're like, well, maybe affirmative action or some other thing is like, oh, well, you gave a spot to a person because it wasn't balanced. I can understand why they think that's not fair, but they don't realize that it's always blocked out. So in other words, I'm sure when they did the invites, they didn't go, we got to pick Doc because we need 1 black dude in the joint. They picked me because
Mm-hmm.
I do what I do, right? Maybe the reason why I'm the only one that was noticed is because I did the work to put myself there to be noticed, right? That being said, if they had gone out their way and did that, I don't think that's wrong. And what happens is people who believe that, well, you can't be fair if you're going to purposely put 1 girl and 1 black dude in the room. And I was like, yeah, dude, if it's 30-1, bro, I'm sorry, that's more than fair. You know what I'm saying? So when the Harvard kids were getting mad because they were like, yo, the Harvard's going out of their way to bring, minorities because of affirmative action or whatever the case may be. And it's like, that wouldn't exist if the previous history didn't exist. So you and I are both victims of our previous histories. But the only way it gets smoothed out to where it becomes more meritocratic is for these things to happen. But here's the thing. I don't think meritocracy ever really comes out. People's personal preferences will always screw with meritocracy. We might be sitting in a room selecting creators. And I might be like, okay, I got room for 10 people on my team. Mary Lou is one of them, so now let me pick 9. I just completely evaded meritocracy. I did not leave a spot for Sammy because I picked Mary Lou because he's my friend. I just know that's a safe bet. So now let me go grab the other 9, right? So I don't think people understand that. There was a really dope story by Freakonomics about. There's a really dope story on Freakonomics about true altruism and how true altruism works, and it's like there's no such thing as true altruism. And that one was kind of hard to swallow. I had to think about this. Like, nah, man, I do so and so just out of pure love. Like, I don't want anything in return or whatever. Yo, getting the positive feedback, even if it's only from yourself, is that thing in return. So you cannot technically be truly altruistic if you get high. Like, if I got high from going around handing people 150 bones in the street, random strangers, I'm not being a nice guy giving poor people 150 bones. I'm feeding the go-go juice off of passing out that loot. So therefore, it's not truly altruistic. You know, that's just a heart boner for yourself. Sorry, I had a weird way to come up with that. There has to be a better way
Yeah,
to
you,
describe
you
that.
got there though. Like, uh, right. So okay, so two things to touch on with one when us being one of one in the room, and I think this is where we align. Where if we're one of one, and it's that like when you felt invisible or when you felt like everyone was looking at you, it's like great. You got to get ahead of the situation. They're all gonna look at you. Everyone in that room noticed.
Mm.
So it's like, fine. I got questions. What about this? What about this? I will be top of the class if I'm going to be in there.
Yeah, that's me. That was me in
Like,
school. Yeah.
right, you're going to notice
Yeah.
because I know you're looking already. So I might as well give you something to look at. That's, one part of things. And then when I think about the, like the schools who are, they're like, oh, the affirmative action or, all this stuff. What if you actually brought somebody like Doc brought someone. You brought somebody who maybe isn't normally in these circles, right? If everyone had their plus one in that group and they brought someone who isn't normally invited into stuff like that,
Yeah, 100.
what an interesting group that would be.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? There wouldn't be an affirmative action if the people who feel like they're getting blocked had ever stepped up in the first place and been like, hey, I got a buddy that I went to school with back in Pennsylvania who is super, super dope, doesn't come from a family with money or anything like that, but this kid is brilliant, definitely Harvard materials. That's how it started, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And then they weren't doing enough of it. So then everybody got sued. And then there had to be a case. And that case put it on point. But, you know, it wasn't a thing where people were going out of their way. They'd be like, yeah, I know this person would be really good at this. Like, even sports, right? I know this person would be really good at this, but like the league ain't ready. Branch Rickey was like, nah, bitch, watch me. And for those who don't know, Branch Rickey was the person responsible for bringing Jackie Robinson to baseball, and now, you know, it's not really a thing in baseball, right? Even when Roberto Clemente came as a foreigner to play, right? When Ichiro came to the Mariners, like somebody had to have the balls to bring somebody to the table, and now it's common. Like now, the best player in baseball is from Japan. But like there'd be no Shohei without Ichiro and Hideo Matsui and some of the other OGs that came before him. Now, here's what's crazy. You know what we still don't have in baseball? You can't tell me there's not a female pitcher out there. That's me, sorry. I told it to stop, but it's something, one of the VIP, Katie, say one of the VIPs is pushing through. It's Katie. Yeah, you can't tell me there's not a female in the game that can't kick a ball further than Jason Myers or that can't throw a pitch, you know, faster than, you know, some of these other dudes. Now, I don't think there's a girl out there that can keep up with Shohei. There's not a dude out there that can keep up with Shohei. Literally the best person in the world. But you can't tell me there's no girls out there that shouldn't probably be pitching Major League Baseball. Why is that still not a thing? Like when we're in the place of, especially where there's not like crazy contact per se, like Kaylin Clark and Angie are definitely better than some of the dudes in the NBA. So it's wild. It's wild to be like, and again, you know, we're still fighting about this crap, bro. We're still fighting about whether a female could hold a position in certain position in office. I'm like, all it requires is a brain and the ability to sign papers and a level of care for everybody in your country.
Yeah. But, right, like slavery was abolished much sooner than women were able to vote.
Yeah, 100%.
Like we only a generation into being able to have a checking account. You know, so there is still some distance to be made. So like understanding like where we've come from, but like, you know, I am not disillusioned in the fact of like there's still so much further to
Oh,
go.
and as much as I love my Japan and like, you know, how I think it's literally one of the coolest places in the world, yo, sexism there is phenomenally crazy. They got a long
Yeah.
way to go. They got a
Right,
long,
because
long
they've
way
been
to
doing
go.
a long
They've been
time,
doing it for quite a long time.
like
You know what I
longer than
mean?
our country's been around, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, it is part of the why we need to stand up and show up, right? Like I've been having another moment of like I don't even know how to show up online because like everything that I want to say is being said or I'm not really adding to anything or you know just having like a time. And you know because of communities that we have and we talk to people and we share with people that we care about and feel safe with, then you get kind of the context of like, well, it is important. You know, we talked about in the group yesterday was so you've got one topic, two people make the same video covering the same topic. One of them you hate and one of them you love. Why? They could have the same opinion, but one of them you connect with more. But both of them had to be brave enough and vulnerable enough to show up and be there for you to find them. And that's as every creator here, you need to do that because you don't know who's the person on the other side who needs to find you.
Okay, wait. I need to record this. I have one thing
You
I
say,
gotta.
wait, 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 wait.
One thing I gotta say, and I'm gonna make this recording real. So there's a common thing in content creating about I can't say this because somebody else has already said it. And you just kind of mentioned that, like even you get to the point sometime when you feel like I can't create this because somebody else already created it. So let me pose a question to you. Is there ever a time where you have had something either said to you or shared with you, or even a piece of advice that came from danger no more than 10 times and you ain't heard it? But then Alicia or Gretchen or myself, or maybe even your sister said the same thing and you heard it loud and clear. And then you go back and go, hey, you know what I just heard today? XYZ, da da da. And then he put the drumsticks down and be like, lady, I must have said that to you like 100 million times. And not only did you not know that, you're like, no, I never heard you say that before. But have you ever had that situation happen to you?
Yeah, I would say I'm usually more on the one who's like, I have been telling you this because people don't want to listen to
Either
me,
way, you didn't have to
you
steal it
know?
back
But
from him.
like,
But either way, same
but
thing.
like, yes, absolutely. And I know better and I know better. But that's where like the demons get you,
Yeah,
right?
100%. So the idea that somebody else created a video and they said the same thing you wanted to say, it doesn't matter because the person that needed to hear it the way that you said it, that person needed you to say it. So you cannot shy away from it because we have all been there. We've all been in a situation where your friend, your family, sister, brother, other half, somebody been telling you the same stuff for 5 years. You ain't heard it. Then somebody else said it. You're like, hey, guess what I just heard? And that person roll their eyes and look at you like, son, son. So yeah, go and make that dang content. And let me stop that recording. I'm gonna run that exactly like that because that was exactly the truth. All right, I guess I got some comments in here. Um, I'm gonna let you have this one, but I don't want to. I'm trying my hardest to not do generalistic conversations because there are some dudes that are good at fundamentals too. But you deserve this one because normal circumstances that concept gets squished. All right. So P. Davis said, it's because we all see the world through a different lens. Every person's story is a valuable piece of the human experience that deserves to be heard. So don't stop sharing. Boom. Mic freaking drop. I 100% agree. Not just because he got glasses and the beard. Maybe, but not just because of that. It says, you couldn't restate what somebody else has already said, then there wouldn't be any more books written. Also true because when it comes to movies and stories, there's like the 7 basic plots, right? And I heard it broken down as little as 3, but somewhere between 3 and 7, there's 3 to 7 basic plots, right? Man versus man. And it's funny because they're called
man
that way.
versus machine,
Man versus
right? Right.
machine, man versus
Mm-hmm.
himself, fish out of water, like, the Romeo and Juliet story, all of the above. Like, there's the 7 basics, maybe it's 5, but Gretchen's correct. Gretchen is correct. Many creators are not seen because they say things in certain ways. Others get visible who might not even give the correct information. And I can say this about your niece and not mention 100%, 100%. Like here is a thank you, B. I knew you would catch that. Here's something that's wholeheartedly true. Mary Lou and I could blow the channel up overnight if we were willing to just say controversial things. I just don't want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be the first person to admit wholeheartedly your man would smoke the living crap out of a joint. I also smoked crap out of a bowl. But you know what I won't smoke? Is a blunt. I don't like mixing tobacco with my weed. I like my weed straight. I just can't do blunts. I done it, don't like it. I've been on an occasion where it's the only thing, and we at the concert, we fitting to get in there, and it's NWA, so hey, I'm gonna smoke this blunt, but it's
Yeah.
not my thing.
When in Rome.
When in Rome, right? But I'm not the type of person that wants to go out and purposely make controversial content. Now, I did
Mm-hmm.
make one the other day where I said I'm going to say some things that's a little bit controversial, but it wasn't the controversial where I'm picking some side or making somebody else feel bad. It was controversial in the fact of, you know, whether you should do this type of content or that type of content, sort of thing. It wasn't in the make somebody else's life feel less than because you feel a certain way. Um, thanks for backing me up, Raph.
Oh,
but
wink.
however, right? Like, I'm not that into the likes and clicks that I want to go out and say hateful content or even, it don't have to be hateful. I can just go all like, the world is fantastic, become a Christian type content and, like blow it up or whatever and never say a mean
Mhm,
thing. And still, that's just not me. Like,
mhm.
everybody knows good and well if I step foot in the church, a joint might catch the fire. But if I was so much
No,
about likes and clicks, I could be a fake, a fake TV Christian and I would get more viewers just because there's a certain level of, it's not camaraderie. What's the word I'm looking for? Like I'll support another one of them, kind of thing.
so I have a question for you and the audience here watching Creators Unstuck Tuesdays on Doc Rock's channel live. What is our common enemy? Because I think that is also something that can unite
Unite people, hundred
a
percent,
group,
100%.
right? And I want to think bigger than just like the man, right? There's like, what is it
I know exactly
to
what our
everyone,
common enemy
right?
is.
Okay,
I know
so
it,
I
but
want to give
I'm not
people a
gonna. I'm
chance
not
to
gonna
like to
say it.
comment.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm
Yeah.
not
Oh,
gonna
oh,
say it.
and in the meantime, we have to give our flowers to Miss Kathy Walker for taking the challenge and posting her lived experience
Yes, I love it. Oh my gosh,
because
she's so
she
good.
was like, I don't know what to post. I don't know what to post. I was like, you have so much life experience. What does someone half your age need to know?
Look,
Right?
the principal said it's fire drill time. Gotta go. Look, she trying to
Gotta
run.
go.
She gonna go pull the alarm herself. She's the principal. And she gonna pull the alarm herself. Be like, "Brrr, kids, we gotta run.
Oh. No, I'm
Uh,
so proud of her
and she's so
because
good.
she, like she was stuck for whatever reason she was feeling stuck, and it happens to every single one of us,
100%.
including the two you see talking on the screen right
A
now. We
hundred
are
percent.
not impervious to that affliction, but like I'm so proud to see it. She's posting regularly. I'm so proud of all of y'all that are doing the Pat Flynn challenge. I know you guys are ending like in the next couple
Next
days. The
couple of
30
days.
is
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, almost up.
Like so proud of you because okay, something that we talk about is like it's so easy, just do it. It's so easy, just do it. But I've started to kind of shift my mindset on that because I don't think it is easy, but we can do hard things,
Mm.
right? Like it can be easy. Okay, it can be easy. Like creating content for you and I is physically, technically easy, but I have been having so much trouble doing it. And what is it? I don't know. Cuz it's hard. Cuz my voice was stuck because of the energy being weird because of who knows what other intangible things. So it can be easy, but it's not necessarily easy. It is hard to be vulnerable, to show up, to do these things. But we can do hard things.
100%. B. Davis said, our common enemy is fear. Love that one.
Mm.
Right?
Okay?
Um, G. Mark said, our common enemy is boring content. Okay. I think Marianne said she's doing 30 days of skipping rope. Hey, that's pretty gangster. My knees can't do that. Yes, there today is going to be day 29 for the 30-day challenge, so it's almost done. Today would be week 10 of 64 days streaming. I like it. Anybody else want to share what their common enemy is? Rafi, what would you say your common enemy is? And then Mary Lou. Oh yeah, Aubrey, you sitting right here, girl. You ain't answering the
That's
question.
right.
What do you think is the common enemy? Come on, type it up in the chat.
Let's
Let's
hear it.
go.
Let's hear it.
I know you
Let's
know.
hear
I want
it.
to know. All
Okay,
right.
so while like, we'll still give people a little bit more time, please, like pipe up. I want to hear it because this is also like we don't just dictate what things are. Like this is a group effort. You guys are part of this show. So, please, what do you feel is the common enemy? Because then we can distill it and figure out what's the thread there. Uh I have to admit something. I am ending the morning show after 5 weeks, 20 episodes. It is not the time for that show for me. But that is, you got to do a season. I talked to the studio head. Studio said, hey, we're not going to continue. We're not going to renew you for another season. And I'm like, great, let me go do something else. No
This
problem.
the studio head. The studio head. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. That is
Because
so
I had to
you.
look at like the bigger situation that was at hand with me. And like, I have an idea, I have a vision. I was not able to execute it in the way that I want at this point. So it's not to say that this idea is bad or it's not going to happen or whatever, but it's right now, it's not. It is not the move, right? But that's where, like, as creators, we got to iterate, you got to adjust, you got to iterate, you got to adjust. Because I'm personally feel done with the times of like, I'm going to bang my head up against the wall a billion times for another decade instead of let me just make adjustments. You know, there's things that were good. There's things that I noticed were like not doing what I wanted it to do for me, like personally, like not even in the audience, right? And the the choice, I was like deliberating on it and I was like, should I, you know, but it's like 5 weeks is a good run. 20 episodes is a season, you know?
100%.
Do I need to do it for 500 days before I realize I'm having trouble sleeping at night because of this concept? You
100%.
know, am I having trouble showing up for anything else because of this concept? Right? You got to like make these decisions. So, yeah, that was a vulnerable thing. I was like, do I say anything about this? But I was like, yes, that's the point. That's what this is for.
All right. And so I don't know if I had told you this yet or not, but I ran into a brick wall. I haven't completely shut the idea down yet. But, I started the Doc Rock Room channel. I haven't posted the first video yet. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason for that is no mental block, no other crazy thing that happened. When I got to Japan, I found myself leading a family trip, which I could never take back. Like, it was absolutely the blast, right? Because I had my partner Blake, his wife, and my niece Ayami there. And then, Emma was going to do her school thing, which we knocked out in the first day. But sort of last minute addition to the trip was Emma was bringing her mom. So it wasn't just me, Baba, Karen, but I also had Nana and Emma as well. So now we got the whole entire dual family, Swiss cheese family, Robinson type joint going on. And we just had so many things to do. And, we kind of dug in. And even when we got to some of the events, like I went strawberry picking, right? And so Karen was helping me shoot content for that strawberry picking thing because I was going to add it to like a video and show you some of the cool stuff you can do. But I was like in the middle of doing that. And I was like, this feels weird. And then I said to myself, why does this feel weird? Because this is Baba's first experience doing something. It's the time of her life, right? Uh, Emma, Nana, Karen having the time of their life. Now, Blake, Jill, and Yami, they had been there before. They were the ones that told us about it. So they were enjoying watching us and then teaching us and doing these other things. And I'm like, I'm going to separate from this total bonding moment and not be present at this over the idea of trying to shoot some content. So I got about 4 clips in, and then I was like, yeah, never mind, bump that. Let's just eat. And she's like, are you sure? Are you sure? You really wanted to do this for the content thing? And I'm like, look at them. Like, they're having the time of their lives, right? and I don't want them to feel like they got to be on or some certain type of way or whatever. I didn't want to interrupt the flow. And that happened kind of on the second day of the trip. And then more and more, I was like, Bob was getting to the age where it might be harder for us to drag her on trips. And then Emma's off to school next year. So I'm like, we finally got the whole squad on a trip together instead of in various pieces. And then I have my bestie, and his wife and kid there. And both Emma and Yami are only children, and they've known about each other. They know each other, like they see each other, but they don't hang out in that manner together. And a 15-year-old girl and a 16-year-old girl in a country full of boys that look like K-pop, they were on point. And I
It
had
was
so much,
over.
I had so much fun watching them in their, era, and they're like, "Oh, look at him, he
Hmm.
cute," era, and like laughing because they don't think Uncle knows all the words that they say. I'm like, yo, we're the generation that made up all of those words. So y'all are saying things that you think I don't know. Now the rest of the people, they have no idea. They're not cool. But I grew up cool. So like I know everything. And they're like, how do you know that? And I'm like, fam, like that's from us, right? So I really just enjoyed being in the present, and I broke my, my 420 streak by one day because I was too busy like enjoying the family. And I don't feel as an excuse. I don't feel like taking it back. And the other thing that's crazy is right when I get back, I start talking to my team, and Katie's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do about half the travel that we did last year. We still got some big things coming up. Um, I know that Mary Lou is all in on Car Party. Love you for that,
You'll
sis.
see me.
Come
It's a
on,
Pokemon anniversary, y'all.
right, right. So like this, come on, right. So it was like, yo, things just changed, and you know what? I still might visit it. I also, as I was doing this 30-day challenge and getting more and more into printing all the things, because I'm organizing my office all through 3D printing, I was like, maybe I'll turn the other channel into a 3D printing channel. I don't know. But I'm cool.
My pushback is just keep it on this channel.
I'm
Like, it's
comfortable with
you.
it any way, shape, or form because I like it. Like I just
Yep.
do. Like I'm really comfortable with it. Like I don't feel the need to have to bifurcate it or separate it or do whatever. So then people in the audience be like, hey, don't want to see that no more. And maybe I'll change. Maybe I'll change. I do want to. I do want to say something to the chat, and then I'll let Mary Lou have you go through your thing. She goes, yes. Test and do what's right for you at the moment. I think that's where I'm at right now at the MC, and I
Hmm.
think that I think Mary Lou had the same thing. Like we came to these things that we're right where we need to be at the moment. We don't have to prove anything to anybody because we've already proven that we can do it. That's what it is for me. Like we've already proven that we can do it. And the other thing that recently happened, Lou, Tom Buck has proven to me that you can put them both on the same channel. So you just said
That's what
that.
I'm
You
saying.
just said that, and then I'm like, I'm really watching Little Buck Nasty over there doing exactly what I think I would do anyway. So, Paul, I did see this. It says, I hate to use the word analytic, but adjusting your style to increase is very useful. You know, for me, the growth isn't about personal gain. For me, the growth is about getting more people to hear the message. So I don't really see the numbers in that manner because I don't really care. For me, I can tell when I'm growing when people come back and say that this is working for them or that's working for them, or seeing new people in the chat like B Davis, whatever. To me, that's when I know it's working. I really don't have to see those numbers to know it's working because those numbers are kind of, you know, messing with you, right? When I see like knee pops up in the chat right now, I've no need through John's show, um, right? John Ong, but then he pops up over here all the time because we have kindred things in spirits, right? Both, military dudes who spend time stationed in Asia, so forth, so on, etc. So like like you build connections with people as you grow, and to me, that's always more important than looking at the numbers. It's not. It's not really about just being an anti-analytic person. Because by nature, as a Virgo, am an analytics person. I just don't use those numbers because those numbers require you to act a particular way. Now, here's my pushback. You're talented enough to be able to run 3 channels, and all of them would be used for a different viewer. No such thing as talent. Talent is skill. Now, what makes one person more talented at planning? Why is Ate MC more talented at planning than I am? because of her speed to learn that particular skill. And the problem with talent, the way that we generally vocalize it, is it's like, I have something special that you don't have. Okay? I am a person who is bespectacled. When I am bespectacled, it is corrected to 2020. So I can shoot with glasses on, bow and arrow, rifle, whatever. Glasses off, I couldn't hit a barn. Some people get bespectacled and can't get the 2020. That doesn't make them a less talented shooter. It just means that they have a different thing. So they'd have to adjust, they'd have to get scopes and some other tools in order to get them there. It will take them longer to get to a perfect score than it would take me. That doesn't make me more talented. That's the speed of which you can learn the skill is the talent. The skill itself is still the skill. I always want to push back against the word talent, because oftentimes it has been used against people like Lou and I. It's like, oh, well, you're different. While they're busy saying, like, I've legit had people roll up to me and say dumb shit like, oh, you're not like other black people. You're smart. And I just wanted to, I have never, ever wanted to just pull something out and just take them out. I can't say it on the YouTube channel. I'll get the channel banned. But those are the moments where I want to use my military skills against them. But
like that, you're not like other girls, where it's like, what's wrong with other girls?
Yeah.
Are we all different?
Do you realize the wedge you put on somebody when you say something dumb like that?
Like, what are you trying to say? Like, what are you trying to say? All right. Okay. So, what is to you the common enemy?
What's this girl in the green over here? Aubrey and AT were kind of there when they said it was me.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
No. Yeah. Don't do. God, why would she do it? It's limiting beliefs. It's limiting beliefs. Like, everybody's common enemy is limiting beliefs. And I will go all the way back to what G Mark said, being fear. Or was that B. Davis who said fear? Let me scroll back up. One of them said fear.
Because those are beliefs. Fear is a belief. Right?
Yeah, it's a belief. Right. Oh, there you go. It was B. Davis said it was fear. And I really do believe that it is limiting belief. I think limiting beliefs in general have always been the case. I think imposter syndrome is a limiting belief in and of itself. If you were to take limiting belief plus low self-esteem or lack of self-esteem about this particular subject and then brand it as imposter syndrome and allow the whole world to have some disease that there's not even a disease. You know what I mean? I believe. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Self-doubt is in itself a limiting belief. That's exactly what it means. It believes that you're putting limitations on yourself that aren't real. Now, if you say, I can't fly, yes, that's real. Physically, you can't flap your arms and get off the ground. That doesn't work. However, you can get a Red Bull suit.
Okay, but somebody had to challenge that at some point, and that's how we have planes.
Yeah, you can get a Red Bull suit and jump off the building. Oh my God, I heard the greatest thing yesterday from Cleo Abrams. Hold on. And it was the funniest thing. She said, here is what happens in what did she say? December, I think it was December 13th, 1903, there was a paper put out by the New York Times, the leading paper at the time, still the leading paper in the planet, like the paper of record, that said there is no way that we are ever going to be able to fly. You see all these people trying it. You see people making planes and those other stuff, but like, man cannot fly. Here's the reasons why. And they broke it down scientifically, stand on business. That was December like 13th or 14th, 1903. I don't know what y'all know about history, but anybody know what day the Wright brothers took their first flight? December 17th, 1903. 3 days later, the Wright brothers was like, bitch, shut up. How crazy is that? After all these people tried and failed, the paper of record, the stand-on business source, put out full cloth, whole article. Humans ain't meant to fly, ain't gonna happen. 3 days later, Wright Brothers was like, fuck off. And now we stand in the TSA line.
And now it's like they challenged, and now we can see each other.
Let's go. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, so because of this, I got work to do. Y'all got work to do. We all got to get back out there and do that thing. So I really want to just say thank you, Lou, for helping process this info. And we haven't done one in a while, but yeah, let's do a pick of the week. I'm excited to see what you got.
Oh, do the sound. Pick of the week. 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 All
Let's
right.
hope I didn't screw this up.
All right.
And I did.
Okay,
Hold
so
on.
this.
Wait. I
Oh,
screwed it up.
there it is.
Oh, you always got to screw it up. Bingo.
Pick of the week. Oh no, it's all out of alignment.
I know, right? It's not working. Look, we're going to go back to
What
the
are we
regular
gonna
one 'cause
do?
I can't fix it. What happened? Oh
It's
my
okay.
God.
Do it here in the half. That's okay.
Why did he break it? Oh my God, he broke everything. No, that's not what we're trying to do. There it goes. All right. Yo, don't do these things live and break stuff.
Don't mess with things. Just leave it. Just leave it.
I'm
Just
gonna leave
leave
it like
it.
this.
We're good there. Okay. So
All right, pick of the week.
okay, so I've been like working with this now for like a month. It's the Shure the 88, the new 88 that they have out, and that you can plug straight into the phone. And it has been so fun, okay, for a couple of reasons. It fits in the bag. And I have been trying to just shoot more out in the world. And because this is small, it fits in the bag, and you don't have to charge it. And then I just plug it into my phone. I'm ready to go, right? Because I tried recording a couple of things without the microphone, and it's fine. It's fine. But then when you hear like the difference, it is really good. So the fact that this can just plug in so easy, like we've got our friend here, Alicia, who's not going to have her set for much longer, and she's going to move her podcast to be audio only. And I keep challenging her. I was like, it could be whatever microphone that you have that can connect to your phone, but we have what we can. We have what we need in order to do that. So I've been really liking this. This is my favorite of the 88s that don't require charging. I do like the Move Mic 88 because the wireless is fun, but this one doesn't require a charge. You're just ready to go. So I love it. Definitely give it a try.
You just plug it in and just go with it. And that thing, I like how the neck goes, and then you can the other way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so like
cool.
you can do like the dynamic or the the different things. It's got the popper stopper in it. It's got, all the good.
The digital
all the good.
Popper stopper.
Yeah. What do you got? Okay, what do you got? What's your pick? And
Wait,
then we'll let you go.
I gotta unscrew it real quick. It is chilling over here. Oh, come here. Oh man, I screwed it on tight. All right, almost done. Come out. There we go.
Come on.
It's fighting. Well, it might be broken now. Dang. Hold on. Let me grab it. Holy crap. Ooh, he actually dropped it. Where's my grabber? Nobody heard that.
Nobody heard it.
I really hope that this survived that drop because that was really bad. All right. So this is freaking incredible. And my pick of the week has been I was by Tiny 3. I hope it survived.
Ooh.
I hope it survived that long fall. But this thing is super incredible. The reason why it felt, because I had it on the stick here, because I had it so that I could mount it onto something else. And as I was taking it off the base was coming out of the base. Anyway, this thing is super cool because nowadays webcams are getting so good that they can literally sit side by side with a mirrorless camera. And I think this is a really, really big deal because it's leveling the playing field for people who want to create content but feel like, they're always semi-priced out of the situation, right? They're like, this is way too expensive. I'm never going to be able to afford, a mirrorless camera or something of that nature. And now we have webcams this big that are coming in with the same level of quality that we would have put on, which would be like a baseline mirrorless camera, right? Now, is it going to stand up to like one of these $3,000 mirrorless? Probably not. And those come with the benefit of having interchangeable lenses, so forth, so on, etc. But here's the problem with the interchangeable lens situation. You go to build your studio, and when you first started setting up, you go out and you get a lens that you think is the right thing. Because everybody and their mother, back when the pandemic was hitting, told everybody and their mother to go and get a, what was it? My brain just went dumb. I have one in the drawer. A Sigma 16 or a Sigma 30, right? Everybody knows, get a Sigma 16 1.4. Why? Because we could do the blur out in the background. And what you saw to this day, what you see over and over again is the creators here and they're in focus, and the creators here and they're not in focus, and the creators here and they're in focus, and like they can't even move because everybody told everybody to put their thing on 1.8 or 1.4 so you can get the blurry background, but nobody explained to them that your focus distance is about this far now. So they all call into their favorite software and be like, "Hey man, your program don't work. It always makes me blurry." No, you bought you bought a 16 millimeter lens and you set it to 1.4. You cannot sneeze and stay in focus. That's not how photography works, right? What they probably should have got was a 30 millimeter and zoomed in, or what they probably should do is, clean the back space and like just let it be back there. But no, everybody over blurred it and you can't stay in focus. You know what I mean? Also, nobody ever told them that if you had a full frame camera, you could rock that same thing at f5.6 and get the same exact look. But because you have a full frame camera with a full frame lens, you actually have some room, and then you same bokeh in the background. But you're not hurting anything. That conversation never happened, and it's way too complicated for people. So now the fact that you could just buy a freaking webcam and it just looks phenomenal for the price. And they even got the light version, which I also have, but it's over there on top of the other computer. Fam, we're just at a stage right now. If you're brand new and you're not sure yet, yo, get yourself a Tiny or a Tiny 3 Lite. Even go back and buy a Tiny 2 while they on sale. Like, these things are getting freaking incredible, and they look amazing for what they do. All kind of fancy specs, none of your damn business. Do I know them specs? Yes. But I'm not going to get into that because that's probably, if you're at the point where you're going to go webcam first, you're probably not even caring what all those specs mean because they don't have anything to do with you. You just want to know that your picture going to look good, and they look good, right? They just do. I have a video on my channel. Thank you, Gretchen. Gretchen says, I understand the exposure track. Yes, I do, Gretchen, because I actually know how to take photos. There is a video on my channel that I did nearly 2 years ago, which shows off the Tiny 2 Lite, which also right here, I have a video on my channel where I'm showing off the Tiny 2 Lite versus my Sony setup. My Sony setup at that time, this Sony setup is more expensive, but at that time it was a ZV-E10 with a Tamron 17 to 28, which is a $1,200 lens mixed with an $1,100 camera. So I'm like, which is the $2,200 setup and which is the $200 setup? And 60% of the people got it wrong. 60% of the people still get it wrong to this very day. And I guarantee you now, I could put this $300 Tiny 2 camera up against what is now $3,000 plus $1,500, $4,500 camera setup, and you still probably can't tell the difference. Now, I'm a long-time shooter. I can tell, but I'm not the audience. And too many people in our space are trying to please the camera bros and not your actual audience. No matter how much crap I give Gretchen, she's still going to be Canon till the day she dies. So she don't. She really don't care about what I gotta say about Sony or Fuji or Leica or whatever. She's like Canon, and I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Like, I watch people because our buddy does a show about cameras, and all they do is argue about these brands, and I'm like, son, how much work did you do last week? Like, how much invoices did you send out? Because Canon and Sony ain't paying your invoices, bro. Like y'all be arguing about stuff. Just dudes like to argue about stuff that don't matter, bro. That's the one thing. I don't. Maybe girls do it too. Do y'all argue about makeup the
Yeah,
way
I'm
we
sure.
argue about cameras? Do y'all be out here
It
like,
might not
no,
be
Chanel's
makeup,
better?
but no, I think we all just want to try everything when it comes to the makeup.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, my lipstick today was one that Karen gave me. She's with us.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah.
All right. What that
I
was?
love all the stuff she gave me. There's like masks. I've been using those masks.
That
Like,
was a
it was
Japan
great.
one.
I think so. Yeah, it was a. I'd never heard of this brand. Yeah, it's in Japanese on the bottom. I think it was called Opera. Oh
Yeah,
yes,
opera.
Opera.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Japan brand.
but I was like, it's nice.
I would tell her. I would tell her. She would be excited. All right, Lou. So what's going on this week? How can we find you? What's popping up?
You can find me at Mary Lou Mandel all over the internet. And tomorrow, inside Video Creator Club, our buddy Caleb Kleb is going to be presenting on doing an email welcome sequence. And this is for Video Creator Club members, but you get a little trial. So if you want to come to that tomorrow, then videocreator.club/join, set up your little trial, come to the workshop, learn how to get an email sequence. And yeah, and then Doc's gonna be our subject that we talk about. I don't. Did you know this? Did you know we were doing that?
No. Hey, hoes.
You can come. You can go be part of it. But we gotta let Caleb, baby Caleb, gotta be able to do baby Caleb stuff.
Wait, did they tell you like my whole plan? Because I was gonna tell you I was gonna tell you offline if they didn't tell you what my
Yeah,
whole
I don't know the whole plan, but like this, like we're the example that's being built to teach us about the welcome sequence is based off of the strategy utilizing for you, but not using like your idea.
I feel used and abused.
Yes. Sometimes you are the example. You set a good example,
Ain't
and
this
you
a
are the
bitch?
example.
All right, now I gotta come and see what's going on. Tell me what time I gotta be there. I'll be there. You guys
I will.
are
It's gonna be
jerks.
tomorrow at noon Pacific time,
that's
Wednesday.
10.
What is it? February 11.
February 11th.
So yeah,
All right,
if
cool.
anyone wants to come, let me know. You can also DM me on Instagram if you're not sure how to get in there. So typically my workshops are for my members, but you do get a trial. So if you do the trial, you can come to this, and then you make your decision.
There you go. See?
Do you want love yelled at you?
Keep
Do you
it
want people
gangsta,
to
dog.
question your
Keep it
thoughts?
gangsta.
Come and hang out with us.
All right, fam. Thank you guys
Gretchen
so
told
much.
me I'm the like. Gretchen
What?
said that I was good at being the person that says, "How's that working for you?"
Oh God, love that. 100%. Like, how's that working? Because people be having some stuff, bro. Like, and that's a good answer to your limiting beliefs. Like, really ask yourself, does this belief serve you? And
Yeah.
I think
How's
sometimes
that
it
working for
don't.
you?
I think people be believing some stuff. You just gotta ask, does this actually serve me? Anyway, you know what it is. I'm gonna just keep cranking away over here doing things, and I'll see you guys next week. I appreciate y'all, and you know what we say around these places. See you. Bye. Wait, I gotta press the button. I always have to press the button, or it wouldn't be real.
You have been unstuck with creators Unstuck, Doc Rock, and Mary Lou Mandel.
See you.